Alright, so we're going to be installing this Belltech 965 SP on the 2017 Ram 1500 4x4. This is the kit. Alright, so the first thing we're going to be doing is let's get the truck up on jack stands, get the front tires off. Okay, so here we are with the tire removed. So then the next step, what you're going to want to do is take off the 8mm bolts to get this inner fender liner out here. Okay, now while you're pulling out the inner fender well, the liner here, you're going to note that there is a clip that's clipped in, a harness that you're going to want to remove as well and taken off. So let's get the caliper off. And the caliper is, you're going to want a 21mm. To get some more clearance back here, you can go ahead and just turn the wheel a little bit, so if you have an impact, you don't have to worry about getting use anything else. So there's the caliper. All right, so this right here, the upper arm here is a 21mm, so that's what you're going to want to use. And then this little part to help you get that off, that is going to be 10mm to hold that so you can get that spun off. And then it's going to be the same on the bottom here with the 21 and the 10. Okay, so with that off, you're going to want to get a sledgehammer, smack this portion here to get this loosened up. There, you see it popped out, so we can just go ahead and pop that out. Okay, now that we have that taken off, what I'm going to do is bring the jack over and support this, because what I'm going to do is take this off of the knuckle, and we're going to be getting close to getting this thing out of here. Should be good. Okay, now you want to do the same thing. Get the sledge out. Tap it right here to get this to break loose. There we go. Okay, so it's about time to get the bolt out from the shock. So actually, you know what? Let's take the top bolts out. Let's do it a little bit different than I did last time. Let's go ahead and take the top bolts of the shock out. So you're going to want a 15mm wrench, socket, whatever you want. And we're going to get these top bolts taken off. Okay, I just realized we didn't take this bolt out over here. This one's pretty simple on mine anyways. 15mm sits right here, and then 16mm at the top. Okay, so get that nut off. I'll get you guys some torque specs here. I'll post them up because I don't have them in front of me. It's an old chisel. Just put the blunt end in there and hammer it out. Okay, so what you're going to do is hold up on the shock, push down, and then that'll allow the bottom, if you can see, that'll allow the bottom enough clearance to get out, and then the shock will come out. Just get the end of the impact wrench and get it compressed. All right, so we're good. You can see where it... Okay, so if you have this pass-through wrench, that nut's an 18 millimeter down in, and then the end one is an 8. So you're going to want a small socket, because what you can do with the pass-through is put it on, then you can just slide that 8 millimeter right on. Okay, now that we have that off, it's good that they actually give you another nut, because this nut's seen better days. All right, so this comes out. Keep these two sections you're going to want to keep. Okay, so once again, that's 18 millimeter on the end here and 8 on the little one inside. All right, so we got that off. Let's go ahead and go back and install it. Okay, so when you're putting it back in, so the point on the end, which is this point right here, that's going to actually face outwards when you put the shock in. So you're going to want to slide the shock up in. Okay, so the first thing you want to do after you get your shock seated in there is go ahead and get the bolt put in, because that's going to be the hardest thing to get. Okay, so after you're done getting the bolt in on the bottom, everything pretty much is simple. You just get everything put back into place, jack it up, bolt it in. Got your 3 points here, then get your caliper zipped on, and we're pretty much good to go. Don't forget about the 3 bolts on the top tower here. Okay, so here we are. We got the front done. I took it for a little drive. You know, it feels pretty tight. It's a lot, you know, it's stiffer than what the normal suspension is, but here it is with the front fully done, and you got the wheels on. Got about an 1.5 inch drop. I figure that's probably going to settle, so we'll be down to the 2 inch drop, you know, in a little bit when it settles down.